PVC is a handy material to use for crafts, for home repair, and especially for rocket launchers. Here I have two pieces. This one's an older yellowed one and a piece of a stomp rocket launcher. I want to shorten this piece. So one of the first skills that's handy is how to cut PVC and what tools might be able to be used. One of the most handy tools is a pipe cutter that looks like this, and it will do a good job cutting cleanly and well for PVC. If I want to take a little bit off this edge right here, then I just compress it, grab the next tooth, and keep going. Looks like I slipped, and it didn't cut evenly on this one. One of the things that will help is to make sure that there's enough inserted into the cutter so that it can support it on both sides. This tube may be brittle because it's older and it's been sun baked, gotten a little bit of UV rot. So notice that this edge is nice and clean and there are no fragments or pieces on it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to tell you about is that almost any saw that cuts wood or metal can cut PVC sufficiently well. However, these kind of saws with teeth, though they'll cut fine, the cut will need to be cleaned up afterward because the tiny little pieces of PVC dust and of edges and corners will keep it from being glued well when a joint needs to be made. And this surface right here needs to be clean in order to glue well and attach well to the next joint. A pruning saw would work fine for this kind of a task. Drywall saw would work as well. A hacksaw would work well. And so this, whatever saw is available to you of these types, should be able to do a good job cutting. Here's a hand saw. It does a good job on PVC as well, as long as you are able to support it and it will cut well. There are a few saws. I like to use a miter saw, electric power miter saw, to cut PVC with. It does a good job. It still needs to be cleaned, and you can use a knife blade to clean up the edges and both the inner and outer walls, kind of like that. Jigsaws, coping saws, and scroll saws can also cut PVC well. There are a few tools that I avoid cutting PVC with. One of them is this rotary tool, a Dremel tool. Because the high-speed bit tends to melt the PVC before it cuts it, the same goes with an angle grinder. It will also tend to melt before it cuts. And then there are a couple of other saws that, for safety reasons, their teeth are broad and they tend to catch on the plastic, throw chunks back at you, or throw the whole pipe at you. And those are a circular saw, like a skill saw, or a table saw. So I usually avoid using those two. For cleaning up, you can use steel wool. You can use a green cleaning pad, knife, Brillo, to clean up these edges and so that they're ready to go. And if you're using the pipe for carrying water and things like that, you want to clean all the shavings and sawdust out of the center of the pipe too, so that it's nice and clean for use and doesn't contribute to clogging things downstream once it's put into service. That's a good summary of things to know for cutting PVC.